Hello, everybody. It's Mr. Odom, and I'm going to um, go over Chapter 16. So, review the first four sections, which you will be tested on soon. So, Section 16.1, we talked about exponents, and you can see the example here where you have to write this product using exponents, and it looks like there's a -4 multiplied by itself 3 times. That's -4 to the third power, and then y multiplied by itself twice, or y multiplied by itself, and that's y squared. So then you just combine those, and there you go. So I did number 4 down here. Um, Evaluate the expression -1/2 to the fourth, and so I put the negative here, and then in parentheses I worked out what 1/2 to the fourth power is, which is 1/16, and then I attached the negative sign to it. So I end up with -1/16. So the video is going to stop right now, and you guys can work out the other problems in this section, and you'll see the answer key at the end. All right, we're back, and let's move on and look at section 16.2, which is where we learned about the product of powers property. There was 3 different properties in there. I want you guys to check your notes. All right. And I worked out problem 8. You can see here in this problem, the problems that they worked out here. The first one uses the product of powers property. And basically you have the same base. So you add the exponents, you get -1/8 to the 11th. The next one is the power of a power property. So I have a power and I'm raising it to a power. And when I do that, I multiply the exponents. So I end up with 2.5 to the 14th power. And then the third property we learned in that section was the power of a product property, where if in parentheses I have a product and I'm raising it to an exponent, then I go ahead, think of this as the distributive property. I take each one of the factors and I raise it to whatever the exponent is on the outside of the parentheses. And then I simplify it a little bit because I know what 3 squared is. So those were the 3 properties. If you didn't write them in your composition book, then you should do it now. Okay, so I worked out number 8, and number 8 is 5y to the third power. So I'm going to use the power of a product property since this is a product of 2 factors, 5 times y. So this is the same as 5 to the third power times y to the third power. And I know 5 to the third is 125, and y to the third is just y to the third. So the answer is 125y to the third power. All right, so the video is going to stop again, and you can work out problems 6, 7, and 9. All right, hopefully you got the answers to those. We're going to move on and look at the quotient of powers property. I'm surprised that I can actually say that, but I did. And basically, you see the examples here where now when I have a quotient, of powers, then I go ahead and subtract the exponents. All right, same thing here. Doesn't matter if I have a variable, I subtract the exponents. And remember, when I have an exponent of 1, then I don't have to have it there. So x to the first is the same as x. All right, so I worked out a couple problems down here. I worked out problem 12 and problem 13. And you can see the work that I did. I basically worked out what is w to the 8th divided by w to the 7th. That is just w to the first. And I multiplied it by whatever this quotient was. And so I have w to the 5th divided by w to the 2nd, and that is w to the 3rd. All right, and then I use the properties from 16.2 and I add the exponents, so I end up with w to the 4th. And you can see the work I did down here for problem 13. 2 squared times 2 to the 5th is 2 to the 7th divided by 2 to the 3rd. I go ahead and subtract those exponents. I get 2 to the 4th, which is 16. All right, so the video is going to stop again, and you guys can work out the rest of the problems from this section. Okay, hopefully you got those answers. Again, you'll see the answer key down here at the bottom as we get to the end of the video. Section 16.4, zero and negative exponents. So we learned that when I have a negative exponent, I can turn it into a positive exponent by moving it. If it's in the numerator like it is right now, because I could write this as 10 to the negative third over 1, I just move it to the denominator. And that changes my exponent to a positive exponent. And then I can simplify it. All right, so again, now the problems just get, not more complicated. We have more different resources we can use to make problems. So now I can have negative exponents, and I can still use the product of powers property. I just have to remember what's negative 5 plus 5, which is what we learned way back in chapter 1. And I get 0. And I know that a power that has a 0 exponent is equal to 1. It doesn't matter what the base is. Any number raised to the 0 power is 1, except for we had 1, which was 0 to the 0th power. And that was undefined. Let me write that out here. Okay, so that's undefined. What else did we learn that was undefined? Well, we remember that 1 divided by 0, that was also undefined. Okay, so moving on, I worked out a couple problems down here, problem 16 and problem 20. You see what I did with problem 16, 2 to the negative fourth. I just moved that to that power to the denominator because right now I could put it over 1. It's in the numerator. And then when I move it to the denominator, the exponent becomes positive, and 2 to the fourth is 16. For number 20, all I did was multiply across. 1 times 1 is 1. And then I have 7 to the ninth times 7 to the negative sixth. And I go ahead and use the product of powers property. And 9 minus 6 is 3. And 1 over 7 to the third power is just 1 over 343. So that's pretty much it for your review. And let me scroll down here so you can see the answer key. So these are the answers to all the problems. Hopefully you got the ones that you worked out correct. And if you didn't, then you better come ask me, what did I do wrong? All right, so this is Mr. Odom. Hopefully you're having a good day, and I'll see you soon. I'm out.